What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Coin. I'm your host, Corey B, and today we're going to answer the question, can I still make money with Bitcoin? I'm just going to say yes. Now, let's look at it this way. Bitcoin is becoming more and more adopted as a digital store of value, right? And if you haven't watched my other video, what is Bitcoin? How does it work? I suggest you go check that out. I'll put the link somewhere around here. Go check that out. Bitcoin is being seen as like a digital gold. And what that means is basically it's becoming a new asset class. It's a new opportunity and option available for people to invest their money. Let's back up. There's a number of different ways and methodologies for getting into crypto and really investing in general. It really boils down to, are you investing in anything at the moment? Real estate, stocks, bonds. Do you look at those as opportunities to make money? Because if not, then you really shouldn't look at crypto as an opportunity to make money. I hesitate to tell people that are just interested in making a quick buck to get into crypto. Reason being, this is not a get rich quick type of thing. Granted, there are lots of people that are getting very rich very quickly. That should not be the reason why you want to get into this. All right. Now, trust me, I understand not everybody is all about the technology. I personally think the technology is really cool. I'm really excited about where it's going to take us. However, I'm also very interested in making a profit. But, I don't think it should only be about the profit. So that all being said, let's talk about the different ways that you can make money in Bitcoin. Basically, what it boils down to is, what is your goal? All right. So when it comes to making money with anything, you really need to define what your goal is and what you're trying to do, what game you're trying to play. Are you trying to make long-term money, or are you trying to just make a quick buck in the short term? Either is valid and totally doable, but you need to understand what it is you're trying to do and how you are going to determine success. It's really the kind of the same as what you would do in the stock market. When it comes to long-term investments, you have your basic buy and hold strategy. All right. So buy Bitcoin now as much as you can and just hold it and wait for the value to go up. And this would be something that you would do if you really believe in the technology, if you believe in, the cryptocurrency, and you believe that the value is going to go up over the long term. If that's the case, then just buy and hold and you're fine, right? Because that will help you generate long-term wealth. And another strategy is the Bitcoin futures market, which just opened up. Right now, Bitcoin futures is available through CME and CBOE. Those are the two groups that are offering Bitcoin futures. And basically, it's a cash market that is betting on the price of Bitcoin in the future. Again, I'm not going to get really deep and technical on what these different strategies are. I'm sure there's plenty of information and videos out there that you can check out to learn more about this stuff if you're interested. But I just want to give you the different options that are available. And then there's also a lot of related tech stocks. Okay, so think about companies that are working in the space to help further the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and this whole revolution that's happening. Companies that produce the actual mining equipment to mine the to mine the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Companies that produce the sensors. There's a lot of different techs and innovations that are happening right now, and there's a lot of hardware companies that are producing the parts to actually make these innovations possible. These are tech stocks that you could jump into and invest in and make a lot of money without actually buying Bitcoin. One of these companies is going to win, and they're going to win big. And, hopefully you can be on the right side of that. And if we're going to talk about short term, the options here are similar again to stock markets. We can do scalp trading, so we can buy in low and just sell high, do our best to try to trade and scalp profits as much as we can. Again, here we can do Bitcoin futures. There's short-term and long-term futures that we can bet on. So depending on, what you know about futures and how involved you want to get with that, there's certainly short-term money that you can make with Bitcoin futures. And basically those are kind of your options for short-term. It's important to understand the differences between the two strategies and two goals. With long-term, it's obviously going to be less risky, right? Because we're not sitting there trying to trade every day and make quick bucks. It's going to be a lot easier for the new crypto investor to get started by just buying and holding. It's also a lot less stressful. When you're doing these trades down here, just keep in mind that these are going to be more risky. These are definitely going to be a lot harder to pull off successfully, and it's going to be more stressful, but it's also a lot of fun. Pick your poison. You can determine what you want to do. But to answer the question, yes, there are a lot of ways that you can make money in Bitcoin. Going back to the chart, it's interesting to look at this. If you really believe in cryptocurrency, then you have to know that this is going to continue to rise. We reference Bitcoin sort of as the digital gold. Gold itself is currently a $9 trillion market. Right now, Bitcoin is valued at about $221 billion. That's quite substantially less than the gold market. So as you can see, the Bitcoin market is still very, very small in relation to that. I want to show you just a little piece of information in this video, and I actually suggest you watch the whole thing. It's a great video on talking about how to value Bitcoin. So we're just going to watch this quick little bit here.
Yeah, in the short term, we think Bitcoin has really followed very closely the idea of acting like a social network, meaning the more engagement there is, the greater the value rises.
And you're using Metcalfe's law. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so Metcalfe's a professor. He actually came up with a theorem based on George Gilder, which is the value of a network is the square of the number of users. And so if you build a very simple model valuing Bitcoin as the square function number of users times the average transaction value, 94% of the Bitcoin move of the past 4 years is explained by that equation.
Just to use an example, so this explains like the network effect, like one fax machine is worthless because there's nobody you can fax, but once all of your friends have fax machines, it becomes very valuable. And so your long-term valuation model, you're looking at it, Bitcoin as a substitute for gold, as an alternative currency.
Yes, that's right. And it's really, what we're trying to do is recognize that the creation of value in the future is in the digital world. I mean, all future great businesses are going to be digital. And with that concept, Bitcoin represents a store of value because it's an encrypted, personal encrypted database that for 7 years hasn't been hacked. I mean, that is a way to store value. And if personal information is our gold, Bitcoin is our digital gold. So we think that the gold market, which is $9 trillion, and for a generation of investors, gold was their store of value. I think this next generation of young people view Bitcoin as their store of value, and if it captures 5% of the gold market, it's worth at least $25,000 per unit.
All right, so basically what this guy says in this video, which I will link down below, I highly suggest you go check it out, but what he's talking about is Bitcoin, if it were to reach only 5% of the gold market, it would be worth at least $25,000 per Bitcoin. Right now, we're not even at half of that, all right? If we did 5% of 9 trillion, that's about $450 billion. The Bitcoin market cap is $221 billion, so we're not even at half of that. I think that a lot more than 5% is going to get captured in the Bitcoin market personally, because I still think it's so new, and there's a lot of people that don't even know about this yet that are just starting to get into the space. There's still a lot of money coming. That's basically why Bitcoin has value and why it will continue to become more valuable over time. If you believe in the technology behind Bitcoin, if you believe in blockchain technology, then you know that this is a game changer. It's going to change the way the business works in the world, and it's going to change the way that we exchange things. So obviously, yes, you can make money in Bitcoin. There's lots of money to be made in Bitcoin, lots of different ways to make money in Bitcoin. And if you're interested in learning more about some of the different strategies, make sure you please subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell, because I will be releasing videos on a daily basis, answering different questions, going over different topics, keeping things pretty high level. I don't want to get too technical, because I really want to create a space for new investors that is safe, that answers your questions, and somewhere where we can, really have a dialogue about what is Bitcoin, what is cryptocurrency, why should we be getting, interested in it, and how is this really changing the world that we live in. All right, so I appreciate you spending your day with me here today. Hopefully this answered some of your questions. Obviously, leave a comment down below if you have any more questions. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Always looking for new content, fresh ideas. So I appreciate it, guys. This is Corey signing out, and I will see you in the next video.